to Live with Viv of the Caribbean team with Preferred Real Estate Broker. I am your Central Florida Realtor since 2008. Welcome to Live with Viv. Join us today is my special guest, Neville Smith, a Florida Realtor with Preferred Real Estate Brokers.
Hello everyone. Hi again, Viv. Thanks for having me on.
Neville, it's great to have you here again. Remember everyone, feel free to comment, share, like, and ask questions. If there's a topic that you would like me to cover, please let me know. Also, please subscribe to my channel, Live with Viv, to get the latest updates. Remember to stay till the end of this video to receive a special gift.
All right.
Today we will be continuing our overview of buying a house. In part 1, we discussed choosing a location and also the different service provider that may be needed. In part 2, we continue the overview with discussion about funding the transaction and conversation with your realtor. In part 3, we will discuss things that buyers do that can derail the process. Things to consider before making an offer, what happens during the contract stage, the days before closing, the day of closing, and also what to do after the closing.
So Viv, what are some of the pitfalls that may hamper the purchase?
Now, Neville, the buyer should remember not to use their credit during the home buying process. The store will still have many great sales after the closing of your house. Many home purchases have been canceled because the buyer went shopping for home furnishing, like appliances, a new car before buying the home. The buyer should refrain from getting into situation where their credit will be checked. Credit checks can affect your overall credit score and cause denial of your loan.
True.
Keep in mind that the lender will check your credit again on the day of closing. Switching jobs during this transaction may also cause the lender concerns to deny your loan. Neville, let's talk a little bit about making an offer.
Okay. Viv, there's a couple things to do before making the offer. The buyer should research the house also. For example, they should review the seller's disclosure and also any HOA documentation. In real estate, everything is negotiable. To make a proper offer, see what comparable homes recently sold for. Be mindful that you may be in a multiple offer situation. Once you decide on your offer, the buyer's agent submits the offer to the seller's agent, who then reviews it with their seller. When the seller and the buyer are satisfied with the negotiated price and terms, they are now under contract. Viv, what happens during that contract period?
So Neville, be mindful of all the dates and not only the closing dates. Missing dates may cause the buyer to default on the contract and lose their earnest money deposit. Remember, we said that the earnest money deposit is the funds you deposit with the escrow agent to show that you intend to purchase this property. If purchasing a resale home, depending on the type of contract, there may be a period for inspection where if the house does not live up to your expectation or may cost more to fix than expected, the buyer may be able to cancel the contract and get their earnest money deposit back. An inspection should be performed on any home when possible, whether brand new or resale. At times, depending on the condition of the property, the inspector may suggest that a service professional be consulted for additional advice on a particular matter. During the inspection period, negotiated with the sellers for items to be repaired or replaced. The negotiated items should be resolved prior to the final walkthrough. So Neville, what are some of the things we should remind our buyers of?
Well, To reiterate, we should remind our buyers that while they are under contract, they should not use credit to purchase any big ticket items or services. Any large deposits or large withdrawals in their accounts may cause additional scrutiny by the lender and will have to be accounted for. Also, while under contract, if financing the purchase, the bank will order an appraisal. The buyer may have to pay for this upfront. During that time also, the title company does a title search on the property to check that it can be sold by the sellers. The title company also checks for any liens or encumbrances on the property. A survey is also done to show the property boundaries and also to find if there's any encroachments. The insurance policy is also created. Also, during this period, the seller should be working on the items that the buyer and seller agreed to be done during the inspection period. The lenders, underwriters do a deep dive into the buyer's qualifications for the loan. They may ask for extra documentation as well as some of the same documents submitted to the lender. Viv, if all of the above steps check out, what should the buyer expect during the final days before closing?
I'm glad you asked. Before the closing, there are a few things you probably want to do. One of them is review the closing disclosure. The closing disclosure outlines the terms of your loan, final closing costs, and any outstanding charges or fees. So Neville, another important step during this final days is the final walkthrough. What should the buyer expect?
The final walkthrough is a very important step to do. The buyer gets to see that the house is in the condition that they saw before going under contract. Also, that all agreed to repair items are done and that nothing extra is left behind or taken. Viv, what should they expect on the day of closing?
Excitement. So Neville, if any of the money are due from the buyer, the title company will generally only accept a cashier's check or a wire of fund for closing. Buyers must have 2 forms of identification. Be prepared to read and sign a lot of documents. You may not get the keys right away after signing all the documents. The transaction has to be funded and depending on the time of day, it may be the following business day before the transaction is funded. So Neville, after all, closing, what does the buyer needs to know?
After the close, the new homeowner should change all locks and keys and change the codes. You never know who had access to your house before it became your home. Mm-hmm. Expect periodic check-in from your realtor over the next couple of months to find out how things are going and if there's anything that they can help you with. Also, need to change over all the utilities into your name because things can get shut off because the seller shut everything down.
Exactly. Thank you for that. In summary, as we outlined in this chat, buying a home has many parts and players. It is not something that generally the public does every day, but your realtor has the training and experience to help you through. Thanks, Nev, for joining us on Live with Viv.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.
Tune in next time when we discuss credit repair. Also, remember to register for this week's gift at HomeSearchCentralFlorida.com. Thanks for watching Live with Viv. Remember to subscribe to this channel to get any updates and new video releases. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.